You had this article that said, that was talking about sexting. And you were talking about how sometimes you prefer like a really good sexting to actual sex. And I got excited about that because sexting is something that I personally really enjoy. And I also recommend it to a lot of my clients who are kind of struggling to reconnect around desire. And
Yeah.
so it's a fun way to kind of do some flirting that's pretty easy. It's technology we all have. And then you mentioned to me, well, part of the sexting thing actually comes from being an introvert. And so I'd love to just kind of talk about that a little bit because I know that's one of the things you write about a lot and you tweet about a lot is being an introvert and then how do you navigate that, when you're dating. And so like I want to dig into that a little bit.
So one thing that I'm very aware of, I wrote a piece for Kinkly about cyber sex last year, is that for a lot of relationships, especially long distance ones, the kind of sex they have is via phones, via internet, via
Yeah.
these means, and so just doing that article made me relate to that on a whole different level.
Hmm.
It made me stop thinking of it as like not real sex
Yeah.
because there's still that sexual connection there.
Hmm.
Um, for me, what I realized because I entered this wonderful wide sex geek world where we all live thousands of miles apart but talk all the time
Yeah.
is that there are people who I have these connections with who I see like once, twice a year.
Hmm.
And so one day I was just talking to a friend and things got a little racy. And then at the end I was like, oh, well, that was satisfying. And I'm still here on my couch with my dog.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
This works.
and that kind of what clicked for me in there is that sometimes I don't want to do the whole going out into the world, finding person, doing the thing, putting on makeup, all the jazz.
Yeah.
Sometimes I really just want to be under my blankets with my pillows and my dog. He features heavily into all of this. Um, but also I want that connection with somebody. I want that excitement and that feeling of desire and all that.
Yeah.
And I want to connect with people who are nowhere near me.
Yeah.
And so I can get all of that done via my phone. And it's really hot. And then
Hmm.
also, because sexual reminiscing is so hot,
Yes.
it makes it so easy. It's like right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. And I'm so excited to hear you say that sexting is sex
Yeah.
because I think that, I think one of the, well, we have a lot of problematic myths about sex in our society, but I think one of the ones that's super problematic is that sex is penis and vagina
Yeah.
penetration. And maybe people will give you like, okay, well, anal sex is sex, and I guess oral sex is sex. And so like can kind of go outside that a little bit, but I think there's still so much room for us to really redefine what's sexually satisfying, what turns us on, what feels good, what actually feels like you're building a connection with somebody